In the twilight of my life, as I sat amidst the scrolls and texts of wisdom in my quiet study, my mind, ever a wanderer, embarked upon a journey far beyond the boundaries of time and empire. In a vision, clear as the Tiber's flow, I was transported to a world unfamiliar to my Roman eyes. This was a realm of towering structures and roaring chariots, far removed from the marbled beauty of Rome. Here I found myself an observer of a brotherhood not bound by the noble philosophies of Plato or the dutiful service to the Senate and people of Rome, but by a shadowed code of their own making. They were known as mobsters, masters of the underworld. Their empire built not upon the virtues of wisdom and justice, but upon the shifting sands of power and fear. Owning your power. Lessons from mobsters. As I wandered this strange modern world, I reflected upon the Stoic teachings, seeing in these mobsters both the embodiment and the antithesis of the principles I had espoused. I contemplated on how these teachings could be a guide, even in a life so vastly different from my own. In a dimly lit room, I observed Lucius, a leader among these men. His control over his emotions was a fortress, impregnable and steadfast. He reminded me of my own counsel. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Lucius faced trials and tribulations, yet he remained unshaken. His power lay not in the force he exerted over others, but in the mastery of his own mind. His choices, deliberate and considered, were the true source of his authority. Gaius, young and impulsive, sought power and wealth with a hunger unquenched. His victories brought him fleeting joy, his conquests transient triumphs. In his relentless pursuit, I saw the truth of my teachings. He who fears death will never do anything worth of a man who is alive. Gaius, in his fear of obscurity, of losing his grip on power, forgot to truly live. His lesson was clear. The pursuit of external power and wealth, without the cultivation of virtue, leads only to a life half-lived. Marcellus and Titus, brothers in arms, demonstrated the power of unity. Their bond, forged in the fires of adversity, was unbreakable. They were a testament to my belief. Men exist for the sake of one another. Their combined strength was greater than the sum of their individual prowess. In their unity there was power, a reminder that even in the darkest of paths, the light of cooperation and mutual support can shine brightly. The lavish lifestyles of these mobsters were a spectacle of excess. Their feasts and gatherings, though grand, echoed the hollow ring of ephemeral pleasure. It reminded me of Seneca's admonitions and my own convictions. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. Their indulgences led them often to ruin, a stark lesson in the futility of seeking joy in excess and externalities. In the quiet of the night, I watched Septimus, an elder among the mobsters, lost in his thoughts. His practice of reflection mirrored my own meditations. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, I had written. In his solitude, he owned his power by knowing himself, understanding his place in the world, a lesson many in his sphere ignored. The stories and legends that surrounded these men spoke volumes. As I've always believed, a good character is the only guarantee of everlasting, carefree happiness. Many of these mobsters, consumed by their fear of betrayal and their desire for respect, forgot that the true legacy they would leave behind would be the memories etched in the hearts of those they touched, not the fear they instilled in their adversaries. In their struggles against their destiny, I saw a battle against the very fabric of nature. As a Stoic, I believed in embracing our fate. Amor fati. Those who accepted their paths, adapting and growing from their experiences, were the ones who truly owned their power. They found peace, not in the conquest of others, but in the acceptance of life's natural course. As the vision faded, and I found myself once more in the familiar confines of my study, the lessons of these modern-day gladiators lingered in my mind. Their world, though clothed in the trappings of a future era, was not so different in its essence from the Rome I knew. The struggles for power, for meaning, for legacy, these are as timeless as the stars that light the heavens. In their pursuit of dominion, these men of the underworld mirrored the struggles of emperors and philosophers alike. Their lives, the canvas upon which the lessons of Stoicism were vividly painted, served as a reminder that the true essence of power lies within. It is found in the choices we make, in the reflections we ponder, in the acceptance of our fate, and in the understanding of the true nature of things. As I sat in the quiet of my study, my thoughts turned to you, my son, Commodus. The world you are to inherit is vastly different from the visions of modernity that have graced my meditations. Yet the core of human nature remains unaltered through the ages. In my contemplations, I have envisioned a world where men, not unlike the senators and generals of our Rome, wield power in the shadows as mobsters. Though their path diverges greatly from the Stoic way, their lives still offer lessons that might guide you, my son, in your reign. Firstly, understand the true nature of power. These modern lords of the underworld often mistake fear for respect and coercion for loyalty. Remember, true power comes not from instilling fear in the hearts of men, but from earning their respect and trust. Lead as a servant to your people, not as a tyrant over subjects. As Seneca advised, it is more fitting for a man to laugh at life than to lament over it. In your dealings, be like Lucius, a leader among them who mastered his emotions. He knew that to react in anger or haste was to relinquish control. Remember, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. Do not let the actions of others dictate your response. Own your actions. Let them be guided by wisdom and reason. As for wealth and luxury, be wary, my son. Many of these mobsters, intoxicated by gold and finery, lost sight of what truly matters. Wealth is a tool, not an end goal. It can build cities and feed the poor, or it can corrupt and decay the soul. Use it wisely as a means to better the lives of your people. Heed the words I once wrote. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. In your rule, seek counsel and cultivate friendships like Marcellus and Titus, who understood the strength in unity and cooperation. Men exist for the sake of one another, so surround yourself with wise advisors, but beware of yes-men and sycophants. Embrace honest dissent. It is often the crucible from which the purest wisdom emerges. Reflect upon your actions and decisions, my son. In the quiet of the night, let your mind be your council chamber. As I have found solace in my meditations, and you find clarity and wisdom in your reflections. He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe. Remember the fleeting nature of reputation and legacy. Many of these modern rulers obsessed over their names and the fear they inspired. But legacies are built on deeds, not on fear. Be remembered as a just and wise emperor, not a feared tyrant. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Finally, embrace your fate, Commodus. Like the Stoic mobsters who found peace in acceptance. Understand that some things are beyond your control. Your power lies in how you respond to the turns of fate, not in futile attempts to control the uncontrollable. My son, though your path is set in the marbled halls of Rome and not in the shadowed alleys of these modern underworlds, the essence of ruling justly and wisely remains unchanged. Embrace these lessons, and may your reign be remembered as one of wisdom, justice, and virtue. Thus, in the world of these modern-day mobsters, as in the corridors of power in ancient Rome, the same truths echo through the ages. Own your power not through the subjugation of others, but through the mastery of the self, through the cultivation of virtue, wisdom, and a noble acceptance of life's ebb and flow. For in this, as in all things, lies the path to true power and peace. Thanks for joining us in this little sit-down. It's not every day you get insights from our side of the fence. If you found a bit of wisdom in our talk, do us a favor. Hit that like button. It helps us out. And if you want to be part of the family, make sure you subscribe. We've got more stories, more lessons from the streets. And trust me, you don't want to miss out. Stay sharp, stay smart, and remember, in our world and yours, it's all about making the right moves. Until next time.